11 September 2001, a day so terrifying that it shook America to its core. Falling buildings, a sky filled with smoke, destruction and chaos all around, people running in panic, fear on every face and hatred against terrorism in every heart. These scenes were not from a war zone but from New York City. That morning of 9/11 was witnessing something truly tragic. 24 years ago, on 11th September, a terrorist attack took place on America that changed not only America but the entire world within just 102 minutes. 3,000 lives were lost in an instant and more than 6,000 people were injured. This attack left a deep wound that shook America internally. After this, America launched a global war against terrorism that lasted for years, and due to this war, countries like Afghanistan and Iraq were also devastated. So, what exactly was the 9/11 attack? How did such a massive attack happen on a superpower like America? How was it executed and who was the truly responsible for it? All of this will be uncovered in today's fascinating video. The morning of 11th September 2001 began like an ordinary day in America. It was early morning, people were heading to work and the city was buzzing with activity. President George Bush was attending a program at an elementary school. But the strange sequence of events began when at exactly 8:46 am, an American Airlines plane crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center. This plane was Flight 11, which had taken down from Boston at 8 am for Los Angeles. But just 15 minutes after takeoff, 5 hijackers on board, disguised as normal passengers, took control of the aircraft. One of them was Muhammad Al-Amir, a 33 years old Egyptian national trained as a pilot. He and his team forcefully entered the cockpit and took control from the pilot and co-pilot, redirecting the plane toward the World Trade Center and slamming it into the North Tower before everyone's eye. A terrible fire broke out in the North Tower and thick smoke spread all around. At that time, President George Bush was speaking with students in the school when White House Chief of Staff Andrew Hilliard came over and whispered to his ear that a plane had just struck into the North Tower. George Bush quietly continued sitting with the children, thinking it might be an accident or a heart attack by the pilot, so he chose to continue the class. Meanwhile, rescue operations were underway in the North Tower when exactly 17 minutes later, another plane approached at high speed and crashed into the South Tower of the World Trade Centers. This was United Airlines Flight 175, which had taken off at 8:14 am, but just 28 minutes after takeoff, 5 more hijackers took over the plane, killed the pilot and co-pilot and crashed it into the South Tower of the World Trade Center. Andrew Hilliard informed President Bush again, who was still in the class with the students, and whispered in his ear, "A second plane has hit the second tower. America is under attack." But President George Bush remained silent for about 5 to 7 minutes. He sat in the classroom and continued the reading exercise with the students. Meanwhile, everything was changing rapidly for America. People had not even managed to recover from the first crash when the second one plunged. Many people died and chaos spread everywhere. Within these 7 minutes, the whole world knew that 2 planes had crashed into the twin towers of the World Trade Center. In the midst of this, another shocking news emerged. 2 more planes had been hijacked. One was American Airlines Flight 77 and the other was United Airlines ki Flight 93. Flight 77 had taken off from Washington for Los Angeles, but at 8:54 am, it deviated from its path. This plane also had 5 hijackers on board who had forcefully entered the cockpit, and about 31 minutes after the takeoff, the other Flight 93 had departed from New Jersey for California and had 4 hijackers on board. Both planes were redirected toward Washington, D.C., the capital of United States. Not far from Washington was the Pentagon, the headquarters of the US Defense Military Department and a highly important building for national security. Unfortunately, the hijackers had marked it as the next target. That's why they steered the plane towards the Pentagon, and at exactly 9:37 am, it crashed into the building. The third terrorist attack on America that morning. By now, it was clear that these were coordinated terrorist attacks. As a result, all airports across the US were ordered to shut down. Planes that were already in the air were told to land at the nearest airports. Where rescue forces were struggling to manage the situation, things were getting worse for America. At 10 am, due to fire in the South Tower, the entire building collapsed. People watched this unfold before their eyes. Destruction, death, and smoke covered the entire city. Many died. Meanwhile, passengers on the flight 93 became aware of what was happening and started fighting back against the hijackers. Everyone suspected that the plane was meant to crash into another ionic building. To prevent that, several brave passengers fought with the hijackers. According to the FBI, 37 phone calls were made from flight 93 using the seat bag phones. The American government was under stress, wondering where and when the fourth plane would strike. What was the next target? The suspected locations were the White House or the US Capitol, both representing the very heart of American power. But thankfully that didn't happen. Due to the courageous struggle between passengers and hijackers on the fourth plane, it diverted from its course and crashed into the field, avoiding another major catastrophic event. All passengers on that plane died, but a great disaster was prevented and many lives were saved. At exactly 10:28 am, the North Tower of the World Trade Center also collapsed, engulfed in flames, and turned into a rubble. A huge cloud of smoke covered New York. Most of the people trapped inside died. The morning of 9/11 became a day of death, when in a single moment America lost nearly 3,000 lives and saw over 6,000 people injured. This remains the deadliest terror attack in the history of America. If you like my documentary, I hope you will enjoy my other documentaries too. See you in the next one.